So my name is Andrew Peter, and I'm the owner-operator of FRSTeam of North Florida, and this is my story. I was born and raised in South Jersey. We grew up poor, we moved around a lot, and kind of struggled through the majority of our childhood, but my family was amazing. We were always there for each other, and I wouldn't change it for the world. My Uncle Travis, who's only 3 years older than me, and I were very close growing up, and while I was in my first year of high school, he had just graduated, and on September 10th joined the United States Army. The next day, the Twin Towers fell. And I was upset because I was too young to join the military at that time because I wanted to go and serve with him. On his initial push into Iraq in 2002, my uncle and his convoy hit an IED. After that happened, I went and talked to my parents, and I took the ASVAB at the high school, and I scored well enough on the ASVAB that I told my parents that I wanted to get a GED so that I could join the Army at 17, but I needed them to sign off on it. And reluctantly, after begging for a long time, my parents did that, and joined the Army in 2004 and went to basic training a week after I turned 18. After joining the Army, I went to basic training at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, which was an all-male basic training, and we did 30 days in the field, and I loved it. It was a new world for me. We got 4 hours of sleep, but it didn't have to be 4 hours in a row. And then we rolled around in the mud and did push-ups and sit-ups and basically got broken down to almost the point of quitting. And then they rebuilt us, and I loved every minute of it. Basic training made me the man that I am today, and I wouldn't change that for the world. I was excited. I got to go to different schools, jumping out of airplanes, rappelling out of helicopters, and just all the fear I had in my life, they threw right in front of me, and I had to face it. And that gives you a different look on life, and I wouldn't change that for the world either. When I got to Fort Bragg, to the 82nd Airborne Division in 2007, I was told right after I reported that we were deploying to Iraq, which I was excited to do. That's why I joined the military in the first place. So we deployed to Iraq, and I was on a convoy security team because I wanted to get every bit of the experience of serving my country. So about 4 months into the deployment, I got a brain injury and was medevac'd out of Iraq and sent to Germany because I was having seizures because of the swelling in my brain. In Germany, the doctors called my grandparents and told them that they weren't sure if I was going to make it back because I kept having seizures. But my grandfather, who is my best friend, closed his business down and left New Jersey and drove to Walter Reed and was there 3 days before I landed. After arriving to Walter Reed, it was Halloween Day 2007 when I got there, and I don't remember any of it. There's about 8 months of my life that I don't remember at all. Don't remember the brain injury, don't remember getting medevac'd, but my memory started to come back while I was there in the hospital with my grandfather. Part of my brain that got injured, I could write and spell perfectly, but I couldn't read. And I could say names of objects and colors, but couldn't match colors with pictures. And they diagnosed it as dementia with visual agnosia. The military at the time was trying to get my grandparents to sign paperwork to medically retire me. And they were afraid that my memory was never going to come back. But my grandfather, being a Vietnam veteran, said that's not an option. So he fought with the military and with the doctors to have me sent to Fort Bragg to a warrior transition battalion, where I went to speech therapy 5 days a week for a year and a half and relearned pretty much everything that I had lost. After finishing my speech therapy and everything, I went back on active duty and served 9 more years in the United States Army, jumping out of airplanes and getting promoted. And none of that would have been possible without my grandfather supporting me and fighting to keep me in. And I can't thank him enough for that. Okay, once I got back to Fort Bragg, the Warrior Transition Battalion let me go to Green Ramp when the unit that I was deployed with in Iraq came back. And my now wife of 17 years was my medic in Iraq. And when I saw her get out for the C-130, I was like, man, that's that girl. So I didn't remember her name. I didn't remember anything she did for me after the brain injury, but I remembered everything prior. So I asked her to come to my house for a 4th of July party, and she did. And that day, I asked her to go out with me, and we've been together ever since. She wouldn't let me use my brain injury as an excuse. She wouldn't let me say that I forgot to take out the trash or anything like that. She didn't let me use any of that, which I think helped me become a better man where I am today. During the 2 years that I had my girlfriend at the time and my best friend living with me, our relationship continued to grow and get stronger. And on Christmas Eve, I asked my wife to marry me. And she looked at me kind of like I was crazy at first, and then said yes, thank God. We've been married for 17 years now, and I wouldn't change that for the world. After we got married, we all started going our separate ways. My friend got out of the military, and I got promoted and wound up becoming a recruiter and moving to Savannah, Georgia. So everything changed. Throughout that time, we had our first son, Andrew. When my military service came to an end and I got out, I had a little bit of a rough transition, which a lot of veterans do. I kind of felt like I didn't have a purpose. I didn't know what I was going to do that gave me the camaraderie and the feeling that I had while serving my country. And surprisingly enough, one day when I was at church, I had one of my friends come up to me and ask me if I could help him with a fire that he had packed the house out for, and I thought it was his house. Well, come to find out the next day when I showed up, it was not his house. It was an apartment that a mother that had 3 children lived in, and there was a fire in her kitchen. And luckily the fire was put out quickly, but the entire house smelled like smoke. And I was like, oh, I guess this is a business. So we went in there and told her we were going to pack out her textiles and her electronics and her furniture. And she was crying. She said the only thing she was really worried about, she was like, I don't even know what clothes my children are going to wear. What are they going to wear to school tomorrow? What am I going to wear to work? And my friend looked at her and said, in the next 24 to 48 hours, we will have your clothes back to you so that they can go to school and you can continue going to work. And the look in her face when he told her that was priceless. But the next day, when we came back and gave her those clothes, she literally, in tears, came up and gave us a hug. And I realized right then that it's not the expensive furniture or the wall decor or anything like that. It's the little things that mean the most to these families. And after seeing all that, it literally made me feel like I had a purpose again. And I knew right then that it was something that I wanted to pursue and do long term. So that claim is what sold it. After that day, I started working for a franchise in South Carolina that was doing the work here in Florida, and just kind of learning the steps and how the business was ran. And I had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. One of our biggest competitors said that they were closing their doors, and the timing just felt right, so I called the franchise and decided to purchase it. And that was the best decision I ever made. We started out small. It was me and 3 other people, and I had to make sure that all of them were on board before I bought it. And when all of them said that they were okay with it and they were going to come work with me, I locked it in. Now, a year and a half later, we have 12 employees, and jobs are coming in from all over North Florida and Georgia. From that moment, when I decided to purchase the franchise and had that team on board to where we are at today, I couldn't be more thankful. I have an amazing team, and we make a huge difference in people's lives every day.